morning, ladies and gentlemen. As you've heard, my name is Nat Travis, and it's my privilege to order the 2013 State of the City to come to order. At this time, I would like for you to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the colors of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. This event would not be possible without the generous support we've received from our event sponsors, who are featured on our slide presentation. I would also like to acknowledge that the mayor, the city council, city staff, Board of Education people are in attendance with us today. Which brings me to our distinguished host, SGI USA. It is with great pleasure that I now introduce accomplished author and spokesperson for SGI USA, Mr. Greg Martin.
Good morning. It's a great pleasure to welcome you all here. If there's anything I or our staff can do to make your stay here more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to let us know. On behalf of all of the staff of SGI USA National Headquarters, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the SGI USA World Peace Ikeda Auditorium. It is our honor and pleasure to host the 2013 Santa Monica State of the City. The SGI USA National Headquarters has had the great fortune to call Santa Monica community its home for over 40 years, beginning on the beach in 1968 and then moving here to Wilshire and 6th in 1975. As members of a socially engaged Buddhist community committed to fostering a culture of peace, our staff take great pride in being able to work in a city known for its innovative leadership, continually redefining standards of excellence in governance, business, education, and the arts. In this spirit of innovation, the Chamber of Commerce has put together a wonderful program that will inspire all of us to further engage and connect in new and creative ways. Once again, thank you for your participation. Please have a wonderful meeting and come back and visit us anytime. We have a wonderful exhibit across the way, and we're happy to show you around. Thank you.
I'm grateful to work in such a beautiful place. I'm proud to be a part of the community. No, I don't live in Santa Monica, but this is my second home, and it's also my Santa Monica too.
We work here, we play here, we eat here, we shop here. We love Santa Monica. A strong school system is really vital to the health of the community overall, and we know that's true for business as well. So the stronger our partnerships continue, the better.
Overall, the largest growing group of consumers is seniors. The baby boomers are here, and they are here in Santa Monica.
I feeling like I've been grateful to meet people from different countries, from anywhere, presidents, lawyers, stars. For me, it's been so like my dream come true.
Technology has really taken a stronghold since 2011, and some of the greatest companies in Los Angeles are right here in Santa Monica, and we're really proud to be a part of the community. Everything that I need is within a couple blocks radius, including everything I need for my business and my home life.
Our success is based on the Santa Monica business community's generosity and giving. Here's what really makes Santa Monica so special. It is a small town within the larger city, but it does things in ways which is big impact. Small city, big impact.
I love Santa Monica. I've lived here for 70 years. My business is have been active for 50 years. My grandchildren, my children are all involved in Santa Monica, and we love the city.
I've been a resident of the city of Santa Monica for the past 32 years and a business and real estate attorney for the past 28 years. This is my Santa Monica. I love living here and plan to live here for the rest of my life because this is a small town with all the great things of a big town.
I'll be 73 in March, and I just lived my life here in Santa Monica. And because I don't want to go anyplace else, this is home.
I've been a resident and have worked in Santa Monica for more than 30 years. This is my Santa Monica.
I work here, I live here, my dogs love it here. This is my Santa Monica.
This is my Santa Monica.
This is my Santa Monica.
Esta es mi Santa Mónica y estoy bendecida de vivir en mi Santa Mónica y también de trabajar en Santa Mónica. This is my Santa Monica, and I'm blessed to be living in Santa Monica and blessed to be working in Santa Monica también.
This is my Santa Monica. This is my home. This is my family's home. We've been here for 3 generations, and we love the city.
Very proud of that video. Good morning, everyone. It's so great to have you here this morning, and I truly want to thank you for bearing with this weather, coming out so early, and joining us for our 2013 State of the City. It's really an honor and privilege to be up here and joining you this morning. And I am proud of that video, and really the message that we wanted to get to you is that Santa Monica is all about people. And what you just heard from Greg Martin was the beautiful message of SGI, is that their message is of service and of peace in this room. And so that's what we get the benefit of, the feeling of this room of service and peace. So welcome here. And so what I want to say that Santa Monica is about the people, and it really doesn't matter if you're a resident, a business owner, a student, or a tourist visiting our fair city. Santa Monica belongs to everyone. And yes, this is my Santa Monica too. And the Santa Monica Chamber is also about people. And the greatest assets we have are our dedicated members who do work enthusiastically to move this chamber forward. So what the chamber does, we provide a strong voice in the community. Whether at council meetings or community workshops, the chamber and its members, they do play a key role in shaping the future of Santa Monica. The Santa Monica Chamber represents over 850 businesses who collectively employ over 10,000 workers. 65% of our members are small businesses. So keeping in mind that Santa Monica businesses contribute over 50% to the city's general fund, we understand the importance of who we represent and the combined influence of moving forward together. So there's a circle of connectivity that I want to tell you about. And the connectivity, it fuels the success of business, government, and public well-being. So the circle, if you'll allow me, rolls like this. We must have successful businesses in order to thrive. To have successful businesses, we must have an environment that allows business to flourish. To have a supportive business environment, we must have a strong customer base. To have a strong customer base, we must build the kind of community that people want to live and work in. To have the kind of community that people want to spend time in, we must offer residents a safe place to live, good schools to educate our young, programs to enrich our seniors, and great parks and recreational programs. To have the kind of community that people want to visit, we must offer tourists enhanced ambiance, walking tours, and beautiful amenities. None of this will work unless we have a vibrant business community. The circle of connectivity, it must exist for all of us to thrive. So there's much good news in 2013, and you'll hear that shortly. Good things are happening everywhere. In a few minutes, you will hear from our speakers, who all have a story to tell about moving forward together into our future. Please remember, the cities surrounding Santa Monica are all working very, very hard to be the most exciting and cutting-edge California city. If we are not moving forward, we are not just standing still. We're losing ground. So the future of Santa Monica is everybody's business. The future of Santa Monica is everybody's business. So before we continue this program, I would like to say again thank you to SGI for allowing us to use this incredibly beautiful space. Please give them another round of applause. And I have to kick off the program by thanking my talented and dedicated staff who work so diligently on this event, one of our largest and greatest events that we do. And this would not be possible without all the people that help, who volunteer, who support it in so many different ways, and you know who you are, and I thank you very, very much. Thank you. Now, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you our incoming chair of the Chamber for 2013-2014, senior partner for Trammell Crow, and the chair of the Santa Monica Alliance, Brad Cox.
Good morning, Santa Monica. How's everyone this morning? Yeah, there we go. There's that enthusiasm. I've got to follow Nat. You know, he's got that attitude that's hard to beat. So, good morning, and I am very thrilled to be introducing two community leaders who are leading the way in keeping Santa Monica and Los Angeles County on the move. Martha Wellborn is the Executive Director of Countywide Planning for Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority. In this role, she leads a staff of over 100 in planning the long-range future of the transportation in the county and is initiating the design and delivery of the new transit corridors approved by county voters in 2008. I'm also pleased to introduce Richard Thorpe, who is the CEO for the Exposition Metro Line Construction Authority, as well as the Chief Capital Management Officer of the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority, overseeing LA County's bus and rail capital development program. With more than 30 years of design and construction experience, Rick is well known in the transit industry for his successful work in the San Diego, Salt Lake, and Los Angeles transit systems. Please join me in welcoming Martha Wellborn.
Good morning, everyone. It's fabulous to be out here in Santa Monica, even in the rain. Such a wonderful place. The slides are going to be cued from the back, so I will just cue them one at a time. I thought I would start by, if you could go to the first slide, setting the context. You're all aware of the Expo line making its way under construction out to Santa Monica. It's going to be a really big moment when it actually opens up and will allow you to come from here all the way to downtown in, Rick will tell you how much time, not too long a time. But I thought I would set the context and describe all of the other lines that we're also working on. You can see the existing system, if you saw this map 20 years ago, would have had almost nothing on it, maybe the blue line. I think the blue line this year hit its 23-year milestone. So we have achieved a lot in 20 years. It's quite amazing. We're up to, if you look at the box at the lower right, 119 stations, about 134 miles of transit. It's really quite something. But the county is so big, and Metro, as you know, serves the county, which has 88 cities in our county. So it's so big, and we have so much space to cover that even though we have 134 miles, which is quite a lot, and also I should point out our rail system this year hit the same number of passengers as BART in San Francisco. So for those of you who it's big. those of you who might not ride the system very much, it's amazing to know that it is really well used and effective for very many people. A lot of this is because of Measure R, which passed in 2008. And of course, I have to give credit to your mayor, Pam O'Connor, who's a Metro board member, and Denny Zane, who I know is here somewhere. And many others of you in the audience, I'm sure, had a hand in this. But when this passed in 2008, it was a big milestone for us. It's allowing on the rail side, which is what I handle for planning at Metro, it's generating. Well, the whole thing is generating $40 billion, and about 19 or 20 billion of that is for transit. The rest of it, some of it actually comes back to each of the cities, local return we call it. That's the green pie piece. Some of that comes back to you for transportation improvements in this city and all cities throughout the county. So that was the thing that really ratcheted up our efforts and is making it possible for us to continue to build 12 additional transit lines. So if you can go to the next slide. What I'd like to do, and Measure R, as you know, has a time frame on it. It's a 30-year half-cent sales tax that will generate that $40 billion. And so we can't spend the money until the money comes in. So go out there and buy expensive things so we get all the tax that allows us to build more transit for you. So we have first decade, second decade, and third decade projects. We have to build them out when the money comes in. First decade, we will be adding, again down to the box in the lower right, another 56 miles of rail transit, and you see the Expo line in there, phase 2, which is under construction. The Crenshaw line is about to start construction. That will go from Exposition Boulevard south to the Green Line and get close to the airport. I'll pick up on that in a minute. There's an extension also to the Foothill, Gold Line Foothill project, which is also under construction. There will be either a light rail or a BRT line in the valley going north-south. You see 2 lines there. One of them will be chosen, but at the moment we don't know which one it is. And then the all-important regional connector right in the heart of downtown, 1.9 miles, but it will connect the Gold Line to the Blue Line to the Expo line. It basically connects all of the light rail. Right now, if you take Expo in to downtown, you'd have to get off of the LRT line, the light rail line, and get onto the subway if you want to continue further. So a change in the seat, a delay in waiting for the next train, all of that makes people not take the train. As soon as you can take a one-seat ride, the ridership ratchets way up. So the regional connector, even though it's only 1.9 miles, and it's in some of the toughest part of the city to construct an underground rail, it's going to be a very important line. That opens in 2019. If you go to the next slide, second decade, there will be another extension. The purple line, of course, is the subway under Wilshire Boulevard that will extend out, and it extends over the 3 decades. So this is showing the further extension of the purple line, and then the airport metro connector will connect. We don't know in what fashion yet. We're still studying this, but it will connect both the Crenshaw and the Green lines into the airport. And obviously, we have to work with the airport. They own their space, their turf. We don't, so we have to partner with them. They have a lot of complications and a lot of different priorities than we might have. So we're working closely with them to make that happen as soon as we can. And then there's a West Santa Ana branch that you see down at the bottom there. It spans 2 counties, Orange County and Los Angeles County. You're only seeing the portion that's in Los Angeles. This is in early draft stages, and actually SCAG is leading the effort here because it spans 2 counties. But the goal of that is ultimately to bring people from Orange County and that region of the county up into Union Station, actually, all the way into downtown. You can go to the next slide, and I'll show you the third decade. So with the third decade, another extension of the subway just past the 405. And getting past the 405 makes all the difference in the world in terms of ridership. If we stopped just at Westwood, it would not be quite as effective. Of course, someday we want to get out to the sea, but at the moment, this is what's funded. And it's also because the Exposition line will be so well used that the extension of the subway isn't needed for a bit of time. There'll be an extension of the Green Line down into the South Bay, another extension of the Gold Line that goes to Boyle Heights and East Los Angeles now will be extended on either one of those 2 routes that you see. And then a project that I'm sure you're very interested in, and this is the last project on the list of the 12 transit projects, so it's way out there. It's like 2036, 2039, but we are accelerating our study of it, the Sepulveda Pass Transit Corridor. And we don't know what that will be. It might be a tunnel through the mountains that will connect the valley down to the airport. It might be that in combination with a tolled highway, you know, a toll route, so that it generates revenue. We're exploring public-private partnerships so that potentially a company that could fund it, build it, collect the revenue, and pay for it. If we can accelerate it that way, we will go that way. But everyone knows the 405 is jammed, and it's I think the third busiest in the country freeway. And so we're trying to do what we can to alleviate the congestion on that freeway as well. Moving to the next set of slides. So this is where we stand. Even though this is a 3-decade effort, from the planning point of view, we're actually very well along. Of the 12 transit projects, 2 have recently opened, 3 are in construction, 2 are soon to start construction. We are in the process, as we call it downtown, the procurement process of selecting the design-build team that will build the regional connector and the West Side Subway. The next slide. And we are in the environmental process, in the draft environmental process on all 4 of these projects. And then we're in early planning on the final 2. So now in the next slide, if Measure J had passed in the November ballot, what we sought in Measure J was to extend the 30-year life of Measure R another 30 years, which would mean that we could borrow against that revenue stream and get everything built faster. It needed 2/3 to pass. It got 66.11%. It was so close. But you can see what the acceleration would have been, still could be, actually. And after I give this talk, I have to race downtown because the MTA board is meeting today, and one of the items on the agenda is we are asking direction from the board, should we proceed as if we're going to accelerate anyway and find another way, whether it's Measure J or something else, or should we stop all these projects, put them on hold, the ones that are third decade. So I don't know the result of that yet, but I couldn't help myself. I had to put this slide in here to show you that in our hearts, we still want to accelerate everything. We want to provide as much transit as we can quickly, but we also want to be fiscally responsible. So we'll get the verdict either today or maybe at a subsequent board meeting. I don't know. Sometimes things are delayed. But if you go to the next slide, I know you're also interested in joint development, and as we go out and speak about all of our projects, people say to us, you've got to do some TOD planning, and TOD means transit-oriented development. It basically means increasing the density around transit stations so that people can walk and take transit and not drive their cars. We do joint development on our property, but it's the city's job, as you all know, to control zoning and entitlements. That's not Metro's job. So what we do on our own property is actually not well known, but pretty impressive. If you look at it in the next slide, all of the dots on those, you see the transit lines and then you see the dots. Those are all joint development projects that we have built. We've achieved over 20% affordable housing in the collection of our projects, which is pretty remarkable. But it's all land that we either owned before a line was built, or we had to buy to create a portal entry to a subway, or we needed it for construction staging. We have to have some transit purpose for buying the land. And then we turn that around and grant long-term ground leases that helps generate revenue for us to help operations, but it also builds a better quality of life for the corridors. If you go to the next slide. But because everyone said to us you need to do TOD planning, we also generated in the last year a grant program. We decided the cities are a little strapped for cash, don't have a lot of money to do the zoning and get through the environmental process and all that all of them need to do. So we will help fund projects that they propose to us. We've created this grant program. We thought we would target $5 million a year, and we wanted to go in the order that the lines would be built. So there was some logic to, Expos first, Foothill, all the cities along those routes could apply to us for the grant funding. It was so popular amongst the board members that in the first year there was not only the first $5 million, but round 2 was $1 million and round 3 was $10 million. We are just at the point right now at next month's board meeting of selecting the round 3 grantees. But you'll be happy to know here in Santa Monica that you received an over $600,000 grant from us to help you with your downtown specific plan and environmental work. So that's, it was well deserved, and the proposals are well scrutinized. My last slide, I just wanted to say, in some ways, I think what the entire county is trying to become is more like Santa Monica. You are already vibrant, active, pedestrian-oriented, and the Expo line and ultimately, hopefully, the subway will only increase that. But so many parts of our county are not. So you are the model, and we're happy to be able to provide as much transit to you as we can. With that, it's my honor to introduce Rick Thorpe. You heard his bio a minute ago. He is the CEO of the Exposition Construction Authority, and I really do wish I could stay, but I've got to zip downtown to the board meeting. Thank you very much.
Good morning. What a pleasure it is to be here. I agree with Martha. Santa Monica is a great city, and it's only going to get better. And there's a lot of exciting things going on. I have the honor to be part of one of the things that's going on, and that's introduction or reintroduction of passenger rail service to Santa Monica. It's been a long time since Santa Monica has had the Santa Monica Flyer or passenger service to downtown. I'm very proud to be able to be part of bringing that back to you. So this morning, I thought I'd kind of bring you a little bit up to date. Those of you that have either traveled Colorado Avenue or certainly Olympic and Cloverfield have probably seen that the light rail really is going to happen this time after talking about it for 20-some years. It's on its way. So I'm happy to be here to kind of give you a little bit of an update. If we go to the first slide here. I'm not going to read all of this stuff here. I'm just going to try to hit on some of the key points. One of them, and Martha alluded to it, it's how long is it going to take to get to downtown or from downtown out to Santa Monica? We're projecting about 46 minutes. So that's from the 4th Street terminus all the way down to 7th and Flower in downtown LA. And anybody that's tried to drive that on the 10 freeway in the peak hour recognizes that's pretty competitive right now. Needless to say, it's only going to be more competitive. Just think, once we build this, it's going to be 46 minutes. It's not going to change like the traffic on the 10 freeway is going to change. It's only going to get worse on the 10 freeway. We'll be able, 30 years from now, still to make it in 46 minutes, and I doubt that's going to be the case on the 10 freeway. So if we could have the next slide. A little bit about where we are. You can see Martha kind of talked a little bit about it. The Expo line will come into 7th and Metro. That's the key station right now where it'll tie into the subway system, the red line and the purple line. It also ties into the Long Beach line. And you'd be able, especially with the regional connector, to get to Union Station and then have access to all of Los Angeles County and other places as well. The blue line, light blue line, is what we're working on right now. That's the Expo line. The first phase of it opened in June of 2012, and the dash line is what we're working on right now. Go to the next slide. One of the things I wanted to point out here, and I think is going to happen when we get all the way to Santa Monica, is we do ridership projections before we start some of these projects to see if they're going to produce what we think they will. We projected, and this was when the line was only going to Culver City. We didn't know if it was going to go to Santa Monica. So we did our analysis, projected that there would be 27,000 people a day riding by the year 2020. We, after 6 months, are already at 23,000. So it's a good indicator that this is going to be a really heavily used line, especially when it gets to Santa Monica. Next slide. So just wanted to talk a little bit. This is more than just a rail transportation between Los Angeles and Santa Monica. We're creating over 4,000 direct and indirect jobs through the construction of this project. The phase 2 of the project is $1.5 billion. And we currently have about 300 construction workers out there in the field. Much needed jobs. They've been out of work for a long time. Just talking to some of them, heart-wrenching stories about how they've been out of work, have lost their health insurance, and they have kids going to school. It just heart-wrenching. So it's wonderful that we're able to start producing these jobs again, and this is certainly a beginning to that. Another aspect for a lot of you out in the audience, there's an SBE program that's part of this overall project. Over $100 million will be spent with small businesses and a lot here in Santa Monica. I know the contractor's trying as hard as he can to work with the small businesses along the alignment to get as much work to them as you possibly can. Another thing is the railroad right-of-way in a lot of areas is quite large. So we wanted to utilize that to our advantage. We will be doing a lot of landscaping, planting a lot of trees. There will be a bike way, basically, that will go all the way from downtown out to Santa Monica when it's all done. So this is more than just a train between LA and Santa Monica. We have artwork as part of the overall program. If I could show the next slide. I think Martha mentioned it too. A lot of opportunity for joint development. We worked hard with the city of Culver City at the station next to them. And we anticipate they have a developer on board, Legato. I won't go into a lot of the detail, but there is a developer ready to go for the Culver City station. There's opportunities along the line out here to Santa Monica as well, and we'll be working with the city on seeing what we can do to increase some of the density around the stations, which makes the most sense, so that people don't need a car and can get around Los Angeles County without the need of a car. Next slide. Just kind of show you what the future might look like, as we say, moving on to the future, moving forward. We have 3 stations in Santa Monica. We have one at 17th, one at 26th, and then one at 4th. This is what 17th Street in Colorado looks like now. Next slide to give you an indication of what it will look like in a couple of years. Next slide is 26, the Bergamot. What it looks like now, and again, what it's going to look like here very shortly. And then the final slide with the rendering is, this might look familiar, the old Sears site there at between 4th and 5th. This is what it looks like right now, and this is what it will soon look like. And so we are working hard. You're going to start seeing a lot more construction going on. If we can go to the next slide, I think we kind of set the time frame, give you a little bit of idea. This year is going to be a big year for the project. The vast majority of the construction, heavy construction, will occur this year. You might have seen some of the bridges going up along the alignment, especially at Cloverfield, but that bridge construction will go on through the course of the year, and will actually start, for example, at Bundy. Some of the station on top of the bridge as well. We have sound walls that will be going in a lot of the residential areas, and that will be followed by actual track construction. So big year for us construction-wise. 2014 then, we start tailoring off a little bit. We go more to the electrical, with a lot of finish work on the stations, the electrical system, the overhead power system, train control, that sort of thing. And then in 2015, we actually start testing the system, making sure everything works, get into pre-revenue operations. It'll go probably 4 or 5 months, make sure everything is working before we open it up to the public. Next slide. So one of the things, you can't build an infrastructure project of this magnitude without having construction impacts. Our goal is to minimize those impacts as much as we possibly can. One of the things that we have planned and the contractor's working very hard on is making sure that there's always access to businesses throughout the construction. So that's one of our promises to everyone that has a business that is close to the alignment. We will provide access at all times to your business. Colorado Boulevard will change. You've probably seen a lot of the construction, but we will maintain 1 lane in each direction throughout the period of construction. And one big change that's coming up fairly soon is in order to accommodate the terminus station between 4th and 5th, we'll be closing off the eastbound lanes on Colorado. And that's going to be coming up fairly soon. We've going to be working in the community to identify alternate routes, how the circulation is going to work. We should be getting out next week with our message boards on the freeway, advising people that will be occurring. Other things that we try to do, noise mitigation. We are very sensitive. A lot of work has to be done at night. And especially when we're in residential areas, we look very careful at our noise mitigation plans. Sometimes it may require sound blankets, sometimes disarming backup alarms that are very noisy. So, and then, you know, some of the other things, just dust control, making sure that we keep the dust down, and we don't want any of the dirt going into the storm drain. So we take care of that too. Next slide, please. One of our goals is try to keep the community as informed as possible. Last night we had a community meeting out at Crossroads. We do that on a quarterly basis, encourage everyone to come out. I'll tell you how to get an email list so you can be notified, so you can come out there, find out. We have people that will identify exactly where you are and what impacts you might expect, and set up follow-on meetings if we have to. So we do want to be very engaged. The contractor has a group that's committed to working with everybody that is immediately adjacent to the line, and trying to mitigate any concerns that you might have during construction. Next slide. Construction noticing, we do provide, as we go along, we try to give quarterly meetings to identify what's going to be going on over the next several months. But we also have specific construction notices of very specific work. We get that out to all the resident stakeholders, businesses adjacent to. We also get it advertised through our website, so I encourage you all to look at buildexpo.org. Go to that site. You can sign up for, put your email in there, and then any construction whatsoever that is taking place, you'll get notified about it. So encourage you to do that as well. Next slide. And our goal is to change that destination sign from Culver City to read Santa Monica in the next few years. So I hope you look forward to it as much as I do, and very excited. If there's anything at all, any concerns whatsoever, please don't hesitate to contact us, and we're here to try to make your lives as simple and easy as possible while we build this major infrastructure project. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you, Martha, for your hard work in moving this region forward. It's now my great pleasure to introduce our mayor, Pam O'Connor. In addition to 19 years as member of the Santa Monica City Council, Mayor O'Connor has served as chair of the board of directors of the Los Angeles County Metro and represents the city of Santa Monica on the Exposition Light Rail Construction Authority Board. I give you the Honorable Pam O'Connor, my friend.
Hello, Mayor. Okay, gang, I need to outdo everybody. So, big good morning, Santa Monica. Good morning. All right. I'd like to say welcome to you all and to Santa Monica. And it was interesting when Laurel was talking. We are all Santa Monicans, and I think there are those folks there among us, like Bob Holbrook on my city council, who has been a lifelong Santa Monican. And then there are the folks who have joined us today who are being born in Santa Monica. They're a Santa Monican. And then there's the person, the young person, who's moved to Santa Monica, who says, hey, I have an idea. I want to make this place my home. I want to bring that energy I have, that innovation I have, and I'm going to do something great in this town. And then there are people from all ages of life who come to our town, who work here, who contribute daily. Each of you is a Santa Monican. You are all part of the community. You are all what make us strong. So I'm proud to be a Santa Monican, and you are all Santa Monicans today, as you always are. So, to get to it, I do want to thank Rick and Martha, who head to the Metro Board, for being here today to set the stage and tell us a little bit more about what is happening here in Santa Monica and the countywide, because we are partner and piece of that whole county of Los Angeles. It's an exciting time to be in LA County as our network is growing in transportation. But we all know what's the heart and soul. What is the heart and soul city of those 88 cities in Los Angeles County? Okay, right answer. So I'm really pleased to be here today to represent the City Council in Santa Monica and speak to you this morning about what is the state of our city and our community this year, 2013. Today's theme, you've all picked up on it, it's Santa Monica on the move. And Santa Monica is on the move in many ways, many levels. And this morning, I want to highlight a few of those ways in which our city is moving forward. So we'll start with a quick review of the definition of the verb to move. It has several meanings. To pass from one place to another, to advance, to progress. Also, to set up, to keep in motion. So Santa Monica, we are moving in all these ways. So 6 themes of movement that characterize Santa Monica at this point in time in its evolution as it's becoming a leading edge 21st century city. And each area, each theme, indicates movement or progress towards a different state or condition. So we are moving towards greater mobility. We've seen and heard that today from Rick and Martha. Sustainability. We've been on the forefront of sustainability. We keep moving forward on sustainability. Community well-being. We are engaged in keep making sure that our community is a place where people can live their lives and have that feeling of just feeling great, feeling well. Economic vibrance, that's where you, the businesses in Santa Monica, the Chamber of Commerce, you provide that platform for that economic vibrancy in our city. Clarity over changes to the physical environment. We are lucky in Santa Monica. People want to invest. They want to build here. It's our challenge to say, how do we get those good projects built? And connectivity through partnerships, because that is the key to moving forward in the 21st century, partnerships, working together. People from the private sector, the nonprofit sector, to the public sector, all working to make a stronger Santa Monica and to move it forward. In a few minutes, our city manager, Rod Gould, will elaborate on each theme. But first, I'm going to put a little bit in context our relative position as a city in California and in the United States in 2013. You all know the past 5 years have been extremely demanding for most United States cities, for our city, for California cities. The Great Recession deeply reduced primary revenue sources, as well as federal and state aid to local government. And at the same time, there's been high unemployment, foreclosures, business entrenchment, all causing to demand more services. We've had static government structures, accelerating demands because of technology. People can communicate faster, and they let people know. Mandates without money, archaic tax systems. We are facing regional and demographic changes and the pressures that come with that. And increasingly polarized politics, and with that, an erosion of public trust. These all have battered cities in our new century. So to cope, most cities have cut services. They've cut staffing, infrastructure maintenance, and they've used up one-time reserves. All of these actions have short and long-term consequences, and none of them are good. Santa Monica has experienced the impacts of all these trends, but not nearly to the degree felt by most cities. We've maintained and even increased services during this recessionary period. And this has been due to a combination of factors. We have a strong and diverse local economy. You all help contribute to that. We have a willingness of our voters to support our cities and schools with additional taxes. We have careful management of expenditures and considerable reserves for rainy days. And yes, we have a rainy day today, literally. We have made significant advances in traditional municipal services, as well as emerging areas such as sustainability, human services, mobility, and technology. But we have our challenges. The loss of redevelopment and escalating costs of healthcare and pensions are pressing obstacles faced by cities throughout California. But most of our challenges involve choices that other cities would love to have, such as which housing, hospitality, entertainment, and creative office projects to allow to be built. We have people knocking on our door wanting to be in Santa Monica. Or how to determine the future of a general aviation airport. How to best include all those who wish to be part of the decision-making process. How to get them all involved, but still get to a decision and take action. For most cities, these challenges would look like opportunities. Here in Santa Monica, residents and businesses remain highly engaged, vigilant, and interested in our city's civic process. We see it each election cycle. Each cycle gives us proof of a robust nature of our local representative democracy in Santa Monica. Our outlook in 2013 and beyond is, I believe, undeniably positive. We will confront our challenges head-on with solutions that germane to Santa Monica, those solutions that fit Santa Monica. Our small but influential city will strive for even greater livability, safety, beauty, and sustainability. Such is our community commitment, working together to achieve these goals. Now, I'm going to turn it over to our city manager, Rod Gould, who's going to provide us some additional specifics about the themes and our direction in 2013. Let's go get them, Santa Monica. Thank you.
Thank you and good morning. The theme of mobility is obvious from the preceding presentation, and yet Santa Monicans have consistently pointed to traffic congestion as a major irritant in their lives. This is not surprising in that our region has long been described as the car capital of the world, and we are bordered on 3 sides by Los Angeles, including 2 of the most congested freeways in America. Although the city's population has remained stable over 30 years, Santa Monica has become a job center, most recently with the city's ascendance as a hub of innovation and expansion of technology industries. Our challenge is to provide choices and incentives to avoid the single-occupant vehicle form of mobility. We are grounded in reality, though. The automobile will remain the dominant mode of transportation for the foreseeable future. You have just heard from Metro and Expo leaders of what the return of light rail to Santa Monica will bring. This is a 100-year change to our community. At the same time, we have witnessed a 30% increase in bicycle ridership in the last year alone, with multi-year plans for more bike lanes and shared roadways, bike facilities and safety programs, and bike sharing in the coming years. The city is committed to carrying out the Bike Action Plan, which was adopted this past year with much fanfare. Furthermore, the Big Blue Bus is an enormous resource, carrying over 19 million people in the region in 2012, representing a 4.3% increase over 2011. We will be improving service levels and convenience of the Big Blue Bus while refocusing its routes to mesh seamlessly with the Expo stops in town in the next 3 years. As more people walk to work, school, or for short errands, we continue to focus on pedestrian safety. A pedestrian action plan is in the works that will incorporate engineering, enforcement, and education to make walking a safe and reasonable alternative to the car for certain trips. This is important. Moreover, if we get a modest mode shift of 10% of drivers away from the single-occupant car, the congestion in town will not worsen over the next 20 years. But please note, this projection does not factor in increased traffic from Los Angeles. 78% of current proposed development in town is residential in nature, which creates an opportunity to improve Santa Monica's job housing balance. Further, creative and knowledge-based industries are especially receptive to alternative transportation strategies, and many local employees show great interest in expo, biking, and living close to work. However, we must recognize that Los Angeles is embracing an aggressive economic development strategy to expedite projects that will surely increase cut-through traffic in town coming from the south and east of Santa Monica in the years ahead. We will increase the use of advanced traffic management techniques and technology to wring the last bit of efficiency out of our street and road network in Santa Monica, in addition to providing the alternative modes of transportation I listed. But this problem is so pervasive and regional that it defies a simple solution. Now, the city's commitment to sustainability dates back to the early 1990s, when the term itself was begun to be widely used, and Santa Monica has been a leader ever since. In 2012, the city won the prestigious Siemens Sustainability Community Award, and its prize money allowed us to plant additional trees around town. In 2013, we expect that the City Council will review a plan for water self-sufficiency by 2020, focusing on enhanced groundwater production, demand management and conservation, and stormwater reuse and water recycling. We expect the Council will consider a plan to move from 77% diversion of waste from local landfills, one of the best in the nation, I point out, to as close to 95% as possible. We expect greater emphasis on solar power and more electric vehicles charging stations around town. We expect a continued aggressive treatment of stormwater runoff to benefit Santa Monica Bay. And we expect ongoing intensive tree planting, although not at the feverish pitch of 1,900 trees planted in 2012. The third theme is to move toward greater well-being. Not wellness, but well-being, which in essence is how satisfied are we with our lives, socially, economically, and health-wise. Now, this sounds like a crunchy granola concept, but it turns out that there's an extensive field of research behind it. Among other things, high levels of well-being correlate with resiliency. Communities that take well-being seriously are more equipped to deal with emergencies and to care with one another in time of disaster. If you consider the reason that government exists, which according to Aristotle was to improve the lives of people, it makes complete sense for cities to take well-being seriously. Although we use all manner of metrics currently to check our effectiveness, we often overlook the one that really matters most, human well-being. Earlier this year, Bloomberg Philanthropies put out a challenge to cities across the country. Give us your biggest ideas, your most innovative solutions, and we'll give you the money to make the very best of them happen. Santa Monica responded with the biggest idea of all, well-being. It's so simple. Of course we should be working to intentionally improve well-being. And Bloomberg agrees. Out of 305 cities, Santa Monica was chosen as one of 20 finalists and given the opportunity to expand our idea of measuring and continuously improving community well-being. If we win, we could receive up to $5 million to implement our idea. We'll know later this spring, but whether we win or lose, we should be working to systematically examine our decisions from the perspective of human well-being. Now, as the mayor noted in her remarks, Santa Monica's local economic vibrancy is the key to the safety, quality of life, and sustainability of our community. Tourists and visitors bring $22 million to the city's general fund each year, and 70% do not use a car during their visit. General consumer goods, auto sales, restaurants, and business and industry generate sales, property, utility, and business license taxes that fund the Lexus level of services that our residents enjoy and deserve. However, the statewide dissolution of an arm of local government deeply harms economic development for most cities when it is most needed. In Santa Monica, we have used redevelopment funding largely for infrastructure projects and to support the provision of affordable housing. In 2013, the City Council will decide a number of commercial, hospitality, and entertainment projects with the potential to enhance our local economy and helps the city recover from the loss of redevelopment. To the extent that we wish to refurbish key facilities and develop affordable housing in town, as well as meet new and emerging community needs, the city must carefully consider its development opportunities. Certain types of development, such as hotels and auto dealerships, generate substantial revenues, economic activity, and jobs with comparatively less traffic. The math is compelling, and happily the city has some excellent choices to make. With the help of the Santa Monica Chamber of Commerce and the Santa Monica Alliance, the city is improving its permitting, plan checking, and inspection processes. CityNet offers faster, cheaper, and more reliable broadband internet services to businesses than its competitors and will further increase bandwidth for our business community in the months and years to come. As a result of these efforts, and despite considerable demands Santa Monica places on new development and businesses, Santa Monica was named a finalist in the Los Angeles County Most Business-Friendly City Awards program this past year. Next comes greater clarity over how Santa Monica will allow changes to its physical environment in the years to come. The adoption of the land use and circulation element in 2010, after 6.5 years of debate, clearly limited development to just 4% of the city, focused in the downtown, Bergamot mixed-use district, and along transit corridors. But the LUCE requires additional definition in the form of a new zoning code, area plan for Bergamot, specific plan for the downtown, and action plans for bikes and pedestrians. These are well along and should be decided and adopted in 2013. In the meantime, pent-up demand, low interest rates and construction costs, and the success of the local economy in the wake of the Great Recession have generated over 33 development agreement applications for consideration. This causes great concern amongst those who fear that development will lead to further congestion and loss of community identity. Nearly 80% of the pending and proposed development is residential, with creative office accounting for less than 10%. Nearly all of the development is proposed near the new rail stops and major bus lines. There is an opportunity to shape the development to support top community priorities and to reduce vehicle trips. Still, this is an area of considerable concern in Santa Monica. The coming year provides the chance to consider what we want developed and how to make sure it best serves Santa Monica. In addition, we need to address the ongoing need for affordable housing in order to preserve Santa Monica's socioeconomic balance. In 2013, as the Planning Commission and City Council worked through the advanced planning and myriad of development applications, greater clarity will be achieved as to what, where, and how Santa Monica will allow new development. It promises to be a lively and at times contentious debate where all will be heard and all suggestions considered. Lastly, Santa Monica will move to either greater connectivity. The major institutions in town, including the city, schools, college, neighborhood groups, business associations, hospitals, and nonprofits, already coordinate and collaborate extensively. Public-private partnerships are essential to maintaining services in many communities across the United States. In Santa Monica, we use them to fill in gaps of services, provide services more efficiently, and generate better results. The Cradle to Career effort over the last several years to afford every child and youth in Santa Monica the chance to succeed in school and enter the job market is just the latest example of this trend. The key is to get past institutional barriers and refocus collective efforts for improved outcomes. It is often said that Santa Monica is a very big little city. Various community leaders mix regularly at meetings, events, and socially, and enjoy the common discussion of how to improve this world-class city. Huge changes in employment, education, healthcare, and technology are changing paradigms across the world. Santa Monica will lead this trend toward greater cohesion through inclusiveness and partnering. It's in our DNA. In sum, 2013 looks to be another hyperactive year in Santa Monica on many fronts. That Santa Monica is on the move should be obvious to all. Thanks to all in attendance for being part of guiding this civic movement. Now please enjoy a quick video from City TV giving the perspectives of several of our partners on what 2013 will bring.
Well, I think it's a community that's changing.
It's a very exciting city to be a part of.
It's an amazing community. It's a really engaged, involved community.
A city of trying to create a place that's just for everyone, not just those that can afford it, but everyone that's here.
People come to every conversation with experience, education, background, ideas.
It's very eclectic. Eclectic's great.
In Santa Monica, over 43% of the population are deriving their business from the creative arts sector, 6 times the national average. So Santa Monica is really a haven for the arts.
As big as we grow, we truly are a beach town community.
There are a number of challenges that St. Joseph Center faced, along with many other nonprofits. Decreased donations, increased need. We serve about 400 individuals and families every week. It's been up about 30% in the number of families and individuals visiting us since the economic downturn.
So we have just coming out from probably one of the toughest years that we've experienced in our in recent history in education.
You know, the recession started in 2008, and we saw what was happening around us with the recession beginning. We knew that it hit us about 2 years later. Now, no one anticipated the depth of this recession, so neither did we.
When the economy's suffering, we suffer as a school district, so it's always a challenge. We really are constantly doing more with less.
You know, I think the not knowing exactly what's going to happen with healthcare reform is one of the biggest challenges. We're already planning around how can we reduce the cost of care but not impact the quality of care to the patient.
We all suffered, you know. People have cut back on spending, leisure travel, business travel, but you know, we've all survived. And that's the best part of the story.
Fortunately, in the last year, work has picked up.
Obviously, Santa Monica's going to see, I've already seen it, a resurgence of sort of professionals moving into the area. They're going to need care for their children and their families, and we're well prepared to do all of that right now.
I am super excited about the expo line. I cannot tell you. It's coming right behind our property.
One of the most striking areas of our success was getting a number of very vulnerable, mentally ill, homeless clients off the streets and into permanent supportive housing.
So we have a lot in our future, I think, to make sure that our students are really ready for innovative jobs, creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, all the things that we know our learners are going to need to be successful in the work world.
The college wants to continue to make sure that we're relevant and working with our partners here in the local community to make sure that our education remains pertinent, subject areas that we're dealing with are relevant to the industry and the people that we have going to school here.
You know, we've been in the community for almost 25 years. We want to really be thinking about the next 100 years.
What we want to do is continue to be better.
With change must come flexibility. And we all have to live through all of this construction and this sometimes inconvenience that happens throughout our day. But in the end, it's going to be worth it.
As I think about going forward, I think about togetherness and collaboration.
You know, we're recovering, taking baby steps.
People of this community, both within our government and our business and our residents, are committed to the success of this community.
It will take a web of people interconnected, collaborating, sharing resources, and getting it done.
That kind of collective impact, that kind of community support is, I think, unique to our community, and it's something that I'm loving being a part of.
We hope to, by staying here and staying connected with them, that we can all move forward. We have something to offer them, they have a lot to offer us, and by working together, we're going to do great things.